We have 2:29. You tell me when it's a go. Okay. Good afternoon. And before we begin, we acknowledge that we're in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe peoples in the Williams and Huron-Robinson Treaties area. We recognize the long history of First Nations and Métis peoples on this land and show respect to them today. We acknowledge our neighbors, the Wattamohawks and the First Nations of Moose Deer, Shawniga, Wasauking, Magnetawan, Henley Inlet, Nipissing, and the Dokies. As we are learning from our First Nation partners, I want to stress the importance of accepting our responsibility to take care of Mother Earth, her plants, her animals, and our shared peoples. And we look to each other and the elders of both nations as a source of inspiration, guidance, and the living memory of our communities. As settlers, we are grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all of the generations of peoples who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. And I will call this meeting to order and ask for the approval of the agenda. All in favor of the agenda? Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? No? Okay. So I have a motion that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby adopt the minutes of the regular and closed session meetings of council held July 4th, 2023 as circulated. Could I have a motion? Councillor Adams and Councillor Brzezinski. All in favor? Thank you. I don't have to do one for the 10th.
They weren't ready.
Okay. Okay. Council will now consider the following road allowance applications. Shore Road Allowance Application Number RAS 2022-0009-F and RAS 2018-0024-F and Colonization Road Application Number RAC 2023-0004-F for Metcalfe, Georgian Bay, bylaws number 2023-071 and 2023-072. Have any written objections been received related to these applications?
No written objections have been received related to these applications.
Is there anyone present? No, in the council chambers who wishes to speak? Has anyone registered to speak to these applications via electronic participation?
No one has registered to speak to these applications via electronic participation.
Okay, and do we have Lauren? Hi, Lauren.
Hi there.
Do you want to explain us a little bit on this one?
For sure. Thank you, Your Worship. So the owner of 24 Rose Point Road is looking to purchase the shore road allowance abutting their property. Staff note that the requested frontage is removed from the open waters of Georgian Bay. I will note that while surveying the shore road allowance, the surveyor had indicated that there are two small abandoned pieces of old colonization road that abut the shore road allowance and the applicant's property. So along with the shore road allowance, the applicant has also requested to purchase these two pieces. Signed consent forms were received from both of the neighbors, and I'm here if council has any questions.
Are there any questions from council? Councillor Collins.
Yes, thank you. With him buying the colonization road, the Carrington Road, is that still a distinguished boundary line between Seguin and Perry Sound?
Lauren, can you?
Yeah, through your worship. So there is further south to one of Mr. Metcalfe's property, there is a portion of colonization road but I don't believe these two pieces in question. So on page 18 of the council package, it's just two little triangles of the old colonization road, and these don't boundary on Perry Sound.
So my next question is, this will not be a hindrance when we get going on our MZO? You don't believe so? So
No, through your worship, this won't have any effect on the MZO application.
thank you.
Any other questions? So I have a motion. Oh, do I have a question there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Councillor Fellner.
yeah, sorry, on page, what page is this?
18.
Figure 4. So you show there's to the bottom of it, Lauren, the colonization road is a triangle, right? Then I see the known as the Rose Point Road. Do we own all the property to the left of that triangle?
Through you, your worship, to all of council, note the property to the left of part 2, or that triangle on page 20, it's actually private. So the owners own in between Rose Point Road and part 2 on page 20, that's private in there. So the township does not own that.
Oh, correct?
Your mic was on.
I'm sorry. So it's abutting a private parcel of property. Was that owner contacted to see? Because typically, don't we have a policy if we're selling road allowances that we allow both abutting owners the opportunity to buy half of it?
I think you'll see in your package that both abutting owners have written letters.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. We did receive
missed that.
signed consents from both of the abutting neighbors.
Okay. Thank you, Lauren.
So I have a motion that bylaw number 2023-071, being a bylaw to close, stop up and sell portions of the original shore road allowance, application numbers RAS 2018-0024-F and RAS 2022-0009-F for Metcalf is hereby deemed to have been read a first, second, and third time and passed by council. Could I have a motion? Councillor Fellner and a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Getty. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, so this is the other portion of the same piece of property. So we have a motion that bylaw number 2023-072, being a bylaw to close, stop up and sell portions of the original colonization road known as Carrington Road, application number RAC-2023-0004-F for Metcalf is hereby deemed to have been read a first, second, and third time and passed by council. Could I have mover, Councillor Bazinski, and a seconder, Councillor Adams, all in favor? Thank you. So we move to the business. We have a motion that as per the recommendation of the Township of Seguin Business Association Committee, the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby appoint Dale Enerson to the Township of Seguin Business Association Committee. And Mr. Enerson made this application. He is back in Rosso after having grown up here and is excited about doing business development and helping, what will I say, liven the town of Rosso up. Could I have a motion? Councillor Finson and seconded, Councillor Fellner, all in favor. Thank you. We like it when volunteers come forward unannounced or unsolicited. And we move on to a request from Belvedere. I think the package is pretty self-explanatory. It is asking for Seguin's 37% of the $8,000 over and above their regular funding, which is already in place. I did speak to Art Coles about it. And the reason for this is that the community demand is significantly higher than they had expected. And specifically, this will fund increased delivery of Meals on Wheels until December. They will be alerted to the fact that any future requests need to come in on our schedule of December 1st. So the amount they're asking for in supplement to their regular funding is $2,960. Does anybody have any questions or comments? So I have a motion that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby approve a donation in the amount of $2,960 to the West Perry Sound District Community Support Services for the proposed Seniors Active Living Center program. Could I have a motion? Councillor Getty and Councillor Bazinski. All in favor? Thank you. I think I think the staff report is comprehensive, but I'll turn it over to our treasurer. Oh, I have a motion, first of all, that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby receive the staff reports as presented on the agenda for the July 17th, 2023 meeting of council. Can I have a motion to receive staff reports? Councillor Vincent and Councillor Fellner. All in favor? Thank you. Over to you, Michelle.
I thank you, Your Worship. This is our regular financial update. We have a slightly larger surplus than we did last month. The reports, as the mayor said, pretty comprehensive. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I think we just spent $2,900 of your
Yeah.
but I think it's to a good cause. Does anybody on council have questions for Michelle? Nope. Thank you very much. And we get this monthly or bi-monthly from now on?
This will be monthly through to the end of the year.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's nice to see a surplus and growing. And we have, again, a comprehensive staff report asking for some clarification. They call it housekeeping amendments. I'm assuming, oh, there's Taylor. Taylor, do you want to explain a little bit more than your staff report tells us about?
Thank you, Worship. I don't have too much to add. I think we're just asking that we clean up some of our bylaws related to our day-to-day business. So the zoning bylaw, update our fee and charges bylaw to ensure that they're consistent with the market and other municipalities, and our shore road allowance bylaw, so it's a bit more objective and predictable.
Are there any questions? Councillor Adams.
Yeah, Taylor, are we going to be adding Andrew Barker to the housekeeping with the rezoning of his property? Camp Cadonian?
Yeah, we could do that. If you'd like to give me direction to do that, we can add it to the housekeeping amendment, and we'll circulate any neighbors to that property just so that way we undergo a transparent and thorough process as well.
Good.
Maybe you could explain to the rest of council what that change is? Taylor or Councillor Adams?
I believe Councillor Adams brought this up at a previous council meeting. In 2006, we think that camp lost its commercial zoning through the comprehensive zoning bylaw update. Recently, they reached out to Councillor Adams to inquire about it, and so we could, if council's interested, give them back the zoning that we believe they unintentionally lost some close to 20 years ago.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on the housekeeping? So I have a motion that as per staff report number DPS-PL-2023-072, the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby direct staff to proceed with a housekeeping amendment to zoning bylaw 2006-125. Secondly, to proceed with an amendment to the planning services fees bylaw to ensure that the township fees are consistent with market rates. And 3, proceed with an amendment to the Shore Road Allowance Closure bylaw in order to create a more objective and predictable process. And I guess we're adding 4 to include, no, can't do that?
Will just be part of the process.
Okay, all right, thank you. Could I have a motion as read? Thank you, Councillor Getty. And seconded by Councillor Adams. All in favor? Okay, council reports. Let's start with Councillor Adams.
It was kind of quiet. On July the 17th, I attended the open house at the Russell Hall. They had a group there and they were going over new ideas for the renovations. On July the 10th, we all attended the special council meeting in Orville about the strategic plan. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councillor Bazinski?
Yes, similarly, I attended the strategic plan meeting, special council in Orville, and outside of fielding a number of complaints about Salmon Lake, Blue Lake Road in our municipality, that was about all of my exposure.
Thank you. Councillor Getty?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I too was at the Russell Hall meeting on the 7th. It was excellent. Staff did a great job of organizing, a lot of participation, a lot of great ideas came out of it. I also did the strategic planning training on their meeting on the 10th. And after you all went home, I was able to stay and spend the evening, and we had the library board strategic plan as well. So that was after the success of the day, it was actually really successful in the evening. Looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. And just a number of phone calls and dealing with a few things, but no major fires.
Thank you. Councillor Fellner?
Thank you, Mayor. I as well attended the special council meeting in Orville for the strategic plan. I found it very interesting process. I haven't had any committee meetings since the last, but have been fairly busy with Park to Park and the township park staff. So we've made some significant progress reestablishing the Seguin Trail for all recreational users. So it seems to be working well, and sort of plotting now the maybe the final steps to take the first section of the Seguin Trail east of the Tim Hortons to Swords Road to Rose Point quality. So I think that's achievable by the end of the year. So other than that, I haven't had any calls about roads in my ward. I don't think they're really probably in any better condition than roads in any of the other wards, but things are good. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Collins?
Thank you, Mayor. July 10th, I attended the special meeting in Orville. July 13th, we had a regular meeting I attended of DSAB, a board meeting, with DSAB, regular meeting. And on July 15th, I attended the Sugar Lake AGM with you, Mayor. That's it.
Thank you. Counselor Finson.
I went to the Memorial Hall open house in the day. I went to that day. I also went down to the market and checked the market out, and they're doing very well down there. And they had samosas. Anyway, it was lovely. And then I did the workshop at the Rosso Community Hall. It was really good. Everybody was on the same page. Everybody had really good ideas, and there were extra ideas that I hadn't thought of. So it was a really good experience. I went to the special meeting of council in Orville. Absolutely adore Karen Wyanecki, and it was a really productive, really good meeting. I went to the Lake Rosso North Association social on Saturday. It was amazing. The food was out of this world, made by Laurie McDonald and Brian. It was fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Really, I think I spoke to everybody there. It was a really, really good social. I also had a Belvedere Heights meeting this morning. I've had a few calls about the traffic flashers on 632 and 141. And the answer is they're just not up and running yet. I spoke with Tom, and so everybody was happy about that. They just thought they'd let us know they were broken. So that was good, though. It was all good. And so everybody's happy that they're up there. And I said they will be working when the technical part gets ironed out. Other than that, just a few emails and phone calls, which were easy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you. So I've been pretty busy this summer. The summer gets busier as lake associations want to meet on Saturdays and Sundays. July 6th was the business committee here, and out of that came the recommendation to bring Dale Enerson on board. That committee is busy. I'm going to give you a date to put on your calendars, please, and that is Friday, October 27th. Will be the mayor's business lunch. So there will be a mailer going out to everybody from the business committee, asking businesses to give us their information so we can have a proper Seguin business directory. We're doing that in cooperation with CBDC, and we will have a mayor's lunch that I'm hoping all of council will attend. You may be the waiters and waitresses. It'll be at the log cabin, and to cut staffing costs, I've volunteered all of you to serve and clean tables, but we will not be allowed in the kitchen. We'll just be clearing plates. And no, I don't think so. The 7th, I also attended the morning Memorial Hall open house, the market. It was well attended. I'm impressed by our consultants. And then also that evening, I was delighted to see a few young people at that open house. I think they were dragged by their mother, but their input was important. On the 8th of July, Terry Fellner and I attended the Little Lake Joe social to meet some more constituents. The 10th, the strategic plan workshop. The 11th was the airport commission, and the asphalt is down on the new runway. We're waiting for painting, and the official opening will be at the fly-in, which is September 9th. If you want to put that on your calendar. It's been a long time coming, but it's an incredible addition to the airport. On the 12th, several of us from the fundraising committee of the pool met with a woman who's approached us to do a long distance swim as a fundraiser for the pool. And we are working with her. We've got some people that do marathons swimming with her to make sure that in their estimation, she can complete what she's out to do. So you'll be hearing more about that, I hope. This past Saturday started with the Sugar Lake AGM with Ted. Then I went to the airport for the first anniversary of the Wave Fiber Mill. There were hundreds of people there, including the International Commissioner from Export Development Corporation, which was really impressive because he is tracking how much of her merchandise is being shipped overseas, and it's impressive. Then I went to the Humphrey Museum for the antique car show. There weren't a lot of them, but they were there and enthusiastic, those that had driven their cars to the museum. And then the same day, the Lake Rosso North social, which was quite a party. And as Gail said, the food was outstanding. I have a couple things I want to remind council about. You have a shortened version of the council support priorities, which I sent on Friday. I've only heard from 2 of you, and you know who those are, but I need to hear from the other 4 of you quickly so we can get it approved. There are a couple changes, but I need to hear from you. And also last Friday, you received the first draft of the fireworks and open burning bylaws for our comments before they go out for public comments. Though if you have any comments, those need to be to Rory before Friday of this week, and then it'll become public. So please give them feedback when they ask for it. And that's all I have. And I don't believe I'm going to allow our CAO to have anything because he's officially on holidays. If you want to say something, you can, but okay. So I have a motion that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby receive the board and committee minutes and agendas and the correspondence as presented on the agenda for the July 17th, 2023 meeting of council. Could I have a motion? Councillor Adams. And the seconder, Councillor Finson. All in favor? Thank you. And I have a motion that bylaw number 2023-076, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of meetings of council, is hereby deemed to have been read a first, second, and third time and passed by council. Motion, please. Councillor Bazinski and Councillor Getty. All in favor? Thank you. $256. And I have a motion that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Seguin does hereby adjourn this regular meeting of council at 2:56 p.m. to meet again on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023, or at the call of the mayor. All in favor, or sorry, motion mover. Okay. All in favor? Thank you very much. That's a record for the shortest meeting. Just want to remind you that there's only one meeting in August because of the AMO meeting, which Jason and I are attending. Anybody else? You are going as well? Okay. So we'll meet on the 8th, and that is the beginning of the budget cycle. Thank you very much and enjoy the afternoon.